I hope you enjoyed that little time lapse. Hey everyone, it's Greg from Shared Photography, and today I want to talk to you about mental health, in particular depression and photography. About 1 month ago, I decided to write myself I started off writing a blog, and I thought I'd actually write about how mental health and depression affects me. And I'll actually link that in the description below, but I'm going to read out to you just a few kind of snippets from there today. And, obviously just let me know how you feel and we can kind of go from there really. But to kind of go through the story, it was when I was about 11 years old, I realised for the first time that the world was different to how I saw it at the time. I remember watching the news and seeing all these things like war, famine, death, but there I was in a quiet town in Hertfordshire, content with my surroundings, but asking questions that I've never really thought of before. As I grew older throughout my teens and into adulthood, I had a number of experiences that would change my life forever, and I still have them to this day. Experiences can be anything from, health issues when you're feeling poorly, to losing family and friends, and anything else which can really affect your mental health. You could maybe have job issues, etc., losing your job. It can be anything. The tip of the scale can change your life completely and put everything into a whole different perspective. I was always lucky to have a good group of friends around me, whether that was through school, through college, through careers and stuff like that. And they would always understand the different things I was going through and would always help to pick me back up, but deep down I was still struggling. I would laugh and joke when I was with them and have a great time, but then you would go home and you could just break down. In 2012, I met the woman I was lucky enough to marry, and it took me a while before I could explain to her about my depression and how it affects me, but ever since I did, she's fully supported me, and she helps get me out there and brings me back up. We would often go and explore new places together, and usually I would take a small camera with me or use my phone, and it was from that point that I realised I wanted to get into photography, and I had no intention of being like a great photographer. I just wanted to take pictures and show the world kind of how I felt through what I was seeing. I also started off kind of wanting to be a wildlife photographer. Ever since I was a young kid, I loved going to the zoo. I was a huge fan of Steve Irwin. Every Sunday it was like Discovery Channel, Crocodile Hunter at 8 o'clock, and I'd watch that religiously for years and years and years. With photography, I then found myself kind of moving into landscape photography and other types of photography as well. I could watch hours and hours of YouTube, like people like Brendan Vanson, Thomas Heaton, Peter McKinnon, and so on, just looking for the best tips and hints and locations to visit. And in the last 2 years of doing photography, I've been fortunate enough to visit great locations across the UK, whether that's the Lake District, Peak District, Wales, Scotland, but also lucky enough to visit places like New York, Iceland, and Australia. The one thing that always remains in common when I go out and do photography is that all of a sudden, all of my problems just seem to go away. I feel at one with the location I am in, and I just have this sense of focus and perspective. I can just be there with my camera and tripod and just feel at bliss. And that's what I love about photography, and that's what I feel a lot of people who may have mental health like depression can get from maybe just having an extra hobby to try something else and just get peace inside of your mind just for a couple of hours. It makes a big difference. I give myself goals and targets to make my photography better, and every day I'm learning something new. It could take years before I become a professional photography, but I just want to keep going, as for me, it's what makes me happy. I'm not saying photography is the cure for depression, but it helps take the edge off. Having a hobby you can really get your teeth stuck into helps me immensely. And I certainly recommend, if you're ever struggling, just try something different, and who knows, it could just be that missing jigsaw puzzle in your life. So let me know your thoughts, comment below, and what does photography mean to you? Is there anything you wish you could do and really want to give it a go? But give us a like, share with your friends, especially if you know anyone else who could benefit from just knowing someone who's in a similar situation. Take care. Bye bye.